Got a lot of bowling balls.
Yeah, right.
So I got a bag, a 2-ball bag, and I got bowling balls on the table. So my friend Anthony, who I love, Anthony Prasnak, he brings his buddy over. They work at Roseville, Township of Roseville. And they come over on their lunch break, and they want to come over and just laugh and see what's going on. So his friend's a bowling guy. He's like, hey, Maz, how much for the bowling bag and the balls? I'm like, make me an offer. He's like, how about $20 for the 2 balls in the bag? I'm like, sure, take them.
No kidding.
Yeah.
$20. That's
$20. So today I get a call from Anthony. Hey, Maz, my buddy found $17 in the bag.
Get out of here.
He found $17 in change. That was Kathy's bag, and I don't know why the hell I didn't go through all the pockets. So he got that for $3. So shout out to you.
No way.
Prasnak and buddy. You got it, man. Enjoy it.
Oh, my gosh.
$17 pissed away.
Is that something or what? My goodness.
And then I got a lot of softball stuff.
Yeah.
Tons.
Sure.
Probably have 8 helmets, 3 bags, 5 bats, buckets of softballs. No one took them. No one. So today I took them over to Salvation Army and donated them.
God bless you.
Just put them out there.
Isn't that something?
I know.
Now,
how about this? The Salvation Army's like, we can't take the helmets.
Why? Oh, lice and stuff like that?
I guess so.
Yeah.
So he said, go over across the street. That Value City will take them. Value World.
Okay.
I took them to Value World, and they took everything. Gave the bowling balls, the bags, and they'll sell them.
Incredible, man.
It was tough. But it was a good time, man. It's I don't
want
want
a good turnout. Do you have a good turnout for it? I mean,
pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish it was a lot more foot traffic, but for what we did, Facebook Marketplace, and I put it on my homepage, and we put signs up. The signs really are the ones that attract people the most.
I think you're right about that.
Yeah, no question.
Big show for you today, guys. We got Tim Twentyman coming up about 25 minutes from now. We'll get you the latest on the Detroit Lions as they completed mini camp, and they actually got docked to practice day 2 by the NFL for doing something that they shouldn't be doing. We'll talk to Tim about that. Feels like a big nothing burger as we go along. But
they want the day off.
Nonetheless, we'll talk to Tim Twentyman about all things Detroit Lions coming up about 25 minutes from now. Breaking news before the show started, just moments before the show started today, that UConn head coach Dan Hurley is staying put. He will remain at UConn, says he wants to see if they can win an unprecedented 3rd consecutive NCAA title. So he says no to the Lakers. A 6-year, $70 million deal that he turned down with the Lakers, which, to be honest with you guys, I am shocked.
It's that low.
Yes.
Yeah.
That feels like a low number to me.
That is.
And Kenny, feel free to weigh in on this too. Monty Williams got 6 at 87 for the Pistons.
That was a desperation move, though.
Nonetheless, but still, it's like a quarterback, right? If a quarterback gets paid in January, the next quarterback that gets paid in February, he goes up. That's just the way it is. So I'm shocked at the low number, relatively speaking, that Dan Hurley was offered by the Lakers. But I am not shocked that Dan Hurley turns the Lakers down. He's an East Coast guy, and I guarantee you he will be the first call when the New York Knicks fire Tom Thibodeau. If that guy can stay at the Garden and coach the Knicks, that's where Dan Hurley's going to be.
Nice. That's a good call. I thought you were talking to Kenny.
Oh, no, I thought he was talking to you.
I'm just talking to both of you guys.
Well, basically, here's the way I look at it. I don't want to go to the Lakers. I don't want to go anywhere where LeBron James is. I'm sorry. Because he's going to overrule whatever you want to do. That's the way I look at it. If you go where LeBron James is, you're getting overruled. This guy don't want to go over there, have to draft Bronny James, try to coach him up, get 2 more years out of LeBron James. They're a flawed team, and they'll have a chance to maybe make a play-in game. Maybe they'll get in. Maybe they'll be a top 5 seed next year. I don't know, but he has got it so good in UConn. Storrs, Connecticut, the women, the men, great basketball year in, year out. Like you said, East Coast guy, grew up in Jersey. His dad, of course, coached St. Anthony's. His brother played at Duke and so on and so forth. It's a dream always to be in the NBA. But he's got a dream job there at UConn. I'm sure Gino Auriemma and him are just fine, thank you.
Yeah, and it's just his style of coaching as well. His style of coaching is really aggressive. It works better for younger players, but this crop of NBA talent, on top of the fact that you have LeBron James in your locker room too, I didn't see it working. And the fact that Dan Hurley and J.J. Redick are your candidates shows me that nobody wants this job. It's a pressure cooker waiting to happen. Even for 1 year of LeBron, is it really worth it to damage your coaching name with this Lakers team? So,
well, J.J. Redick is a buddy of LeBron's, right? So if anything would work, that probably will work in the interim at least until maybe J.J. is going to be a good coach. I don't know. He might be a good coach.
He's never had a job, though.
I get it.
And, you think of Steve Nash.
Right.
Steve Nash is another guy that
he flamed out in a toxic environment in Brooklyn.
But you say toxic environment. I say he had Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, James Harden. I mean, he had some of the most talented players you could assemble on one roster in the league's history. I mean, you think about those three players, let's say in the last couple of years anyway, or at least the last decade and a half. I mean, that's a very talented team, and a guy like Steve Nash doesn't. A guy like Steve Kerr does work. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So you just don't know until you get a guy out there. I don't know much about J.J. Redick. I think he's fine. But nonetheless, if you are going to coach LeBron James, you have got to know that it's a month-by-month proposition. Frank, not year by year, month by month. Frank Vogel won a championship.
Yeah.
And was out the next year.
Albeit in COVID.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I actually think the COVID championship
it means more.
Means more.
Thank you.
Because let me tell you, I understand that. But I this is why I have always said the COVID championship should not be crapped on. You take all the intangibles away. This is pure. You take travel, you take meals, you take rest, you take everything out. All things are equal. And you say, who's the best basketball team?
Yeah.
Everything is thrown out the window.
They didn't play enough games.
Crowd noise, home. I'm just saying.
Dodgers the same way. They didn't play 162 games.
We could argue about that till we're blue in the face. That's just my reasoning.
That's fine.
For thinking that the COVID championship is a pretty good championship. But nonetheless, Frank Vogel wins the championship out next year.
Yeah. He'll get another gig.
He's got another gig. He just got fired again.
Yeah, I know. And I think he'll get another gig.
Right. Yeah, I mean, he might. But, coaching LeBron James is an extremely difficult thing to do because you are not in charge. And it's not even about who's in charge. Then you've got the agents and everything like that. So I don't feel like it's surprising. And historically, the L.A. Lakers are not a team that are going to pay a lot for your head coach. And that's evidenced by throwing an all-out, all-in offer on Dan Hurley. You're telling me you're going to pay him $17 million less than the Detroit Pistons pay Monty Williams? That's your all-in offer? Sorry.
I wish they would just take Monty. Hey, Monty, go to the Lakers.
They might.
Go to the Lakers, please.
They might.
He not going there.
Right.
He don't want that job. He didn't want to take this job. What makes you think he wants to go work for Jeannie Buss and Rob Pelinka? That's not an appealing proposition.
No.
And working for Rob Pelinka, to be honest with you, doesn't feel like it's
yeah.
I love Rob Pelinka. He's a Michigan guy. God bless you. But my goodness, he doesn't seem like he's got anything together, too, when it comes to being a general manager. It feels like very Arn Tellem-esque.
He looks like Rob Lowe, though.
They ran Magic Johnson out of the organization. That should tell you something.
Exactly. So I'm not so sure about that.
Yeah, the Lakers aren't the most steady gig that you would want right now.
No,
although one of the great teams in NBA history. I mean, that's a tough franchise to say no to.
But think about this. Pat Riley and Phil Jackson in the last 40 years, okay? Mm-hmm. Pat Riley, Phil Jackson, who else?
I can't put my finger on it.
They ran Rudy Tomjanovich out of Hall of Fame head coach.
I know. I hear you.
They don't pay too many coaches. So there's that aspect of it. A little bit of NBA, too. Game 2 of the NBA Finals last night goes to the Boston Celtics. Boston wins that one 105-98. They take a commanding 2-0 series lead on the Dallas Mavericks. This looks like just a team that is better than the other. The Boston Celtics just look better than the Dallas Mavericks. Yeah. Dallas might have the best player on the floor in Luka Doncic.
Oh, they do.
And I would contend that, I still would put Luka number 1 over Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown or Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. I always get those names mixed up, but nonetheless, best player goes to Dallas, best team goes to Boston. It's pretty clear.
It is, and I thought Dallas was going to give them a run here, and I'm a little upset that it's another blowout of a series. So far, it's 2-0. Things could change when they get to Dallas. Is it 2-2, 1-1-1, or is it 2-3?
1-1-1.
All right, so it's back to that again because it used to be then 2-3-2.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see if they got a whole home court. But Luka came into this game. What was wrong with him to begin with?
He's injured.
I know. I see that. What happened to him?
I don't know. Something with his rib. I don't know. But he's dealing with a lot. He had an ankle injury before
again.
that.
Another 30-point triple-double for Luka Doncic, playing at about 75% at most, healthy.
I'm just shocked, and I don't use that word loosely. I am shocked at how poorly Kyrie Irving is playing.
Well, the defense, Derek White and Drew Holiday are the truth. They are switching off on him and making life real hard for him.
100%.
Drew was the star last night for Boston.
That is the difference. And I guess maybe because you hear Drew Holiday and Kyrie Irving, 10 times out of 10, I'm going to take Kyrie.
Of course.
Okay, 10 times out of 10. But Drew Holiday, the way they're playing defense, they don't even need to double Kyrie Irving to where Kyrie can find the open man.
Yeah.
Because Drew Holiday is literally just checking Kyrie Irving one-on-one and just stopping him.
Yeah.
And I do think there's a part of Kyrie in Boston that is way over-emotional about being there, hates that fan base and hates that organization so much. It's rare that we see a player of that caliber. It feels like it's in his head now. And I'm surprised by that with Kyrie Irving because he's just such an all-time great.
I wish Anson was here because Anson is the number – between him and Braylon, they both put Kyrie on a pedestal. I've never been a huge fan of his. Obviously, he's a great basketball player. I'm not going to take anything away from him. But I'm just – he's not my kind of guy. I wouldn't want him on my team. But you know what? He found a place here. They made a great run to get to where they are. They made Minnesota look silly. And here they are against the big, bad Boston Celtics, who are maybe finally showing all those years that they put in. Maybe now they are ready. And I love Joe Mazzulla. The way he's coaching, the way he's answering the press. 2 thumbs up for Joe Mazzulla.
Yeah, Joe Mazzulla feels like he's out coaching Jason Kidd a little bit, and the Boston Celtics are just out-manning the Dallas Mavericks. I want to thank Dante151 for donating $5 in the Woodward chat. Breaking news, Steelers just extended head coach Mike Tomlin through 2027. We'll take a look at that in just a little bit. We want to thank Dante for that.
You're hired.
But again, back to the NBA Finals, and you can even do this a little bit with the hockey. It feels like we have had such great playoffs for so long. Now we get to the championship rounds of both sports, the NHL and the NBA, and it feels like they're trending in sweeps.
I hope not. I hope not.
It feels like we're trending that way. But, again, last night, big underrated piece what happened. Kristaps Porzingis, it looked like something happened to his knee or his calf or something like that, Kenny, and he was never the same player. And if you notice, Dallas got right back into the game when he went out.
No, definitely. And Porzingis has been a big piece for them so far in this playoffs. If they lose what he brings on the defensive end on top of his scoring, then the Celtics might have a problem or two. But the way they keep playing defense on Dallas, they seem content to let Luka go off. Luka looks gassed a lot of these games. They seem content to let him go off and just focus on Kyrie Irving. And it's worked. And on the Dallas side, their biggest problem, on top of the fact that both of their stars aren't going, they can't get a third. We had a better contribution from the team last night. Everybody finished in double figures. But the free throw percentage, Boston shot 95% from the free throw line. Dallas shot 66.5. And you're not going to win any finals games like that.
I don't have the number in front of me, but I think it was something like 16 of 24 from the free throw line for the Dallas Mavericks. When you lose a game by 8, or excuse me, when you lose a game by 7 and you miss 8 free throws,
there it
what's
is.
the difference? And even if you make half of those, okay? Even if you make half of this, it is a different game in winning time.
Hey, man, number one thing for me in basketball is make your free throws.
Yeah.
That's why they call them free. Make your damn free throws.
And this has been a problem for Dallas the whole playoffs, but it's finally rearing its head here in the finals. You can't win finals games missing free throws like that.
Also in the at the end of the first half, I forgot who shot it, but it was about a 34, 35 foot.
Oh, Peyton Pritchard.
Yeah. Shot a three.
Off the bench.
Hit a three off the bench. Was it at halftime or at the end of the third?
I think it was half.
Halftime.
I think it was half.
To push the lead, went from 6 to 9.
Oof. That's
huge.
And,
you think about that shot at the time, too. And I say this because it's a 5-point game with under a minute to go in the game. If you take that heave away at halftime,
it's a bucket.
That means it's a 2-point game with under a minute to go. All these things change based on missed free throws, half-court heave.
Yep.
So, again, if you are in the camp of Dallas can continue on, Dallas can make this a series, Dallas can win 2 games in Dallas against the Boston Celtics and return back for Game 5 in Boston, tied 2-2. Those are the types of things that I think you can hang your hat on because it wasn't like this was a 20-point blowout. In fact, I don't think Boston took a lead until way late in the second quarter of this game.
Yeah, that's true. But when you don't have anybody helping out Kyrie and especially Luka, then things are going to be hard, man. Things are that's how it's playing out right now.
Yeah.
Well, they got a couple more days before game number 3?
Yeah.
Couple more days, but Wednesday. So they go Wednesday, Friday. I think is the game.
Don't play on a Friday. No one's staying home on a Friday night.
I like a good Friday night.
Yeah, maybe at the bar.
Go to the bar.
Yeah, you go to the bar and watch it.
A younger Ryan Ermanni, let's go watch the finals game at the bar.
Yeah. My wife and I Saturday we went to a place down on Jefferson Zepps, watched the Yankee game on one. I had the lady put Yankee game here, NHL playoff Stanley Cup is right there, and it's exciting when you are there. Watching a live sporting event.
So I think one of the more underrated storylines of this finals is that Jason Tatum has essentially been a non-factor. You look at the first game, the Kristaps Porzingis game. You look at game 2, the Drew Holiday game. We haven't seen Jason Tatum, and he's shooting terribly. He's been so inefficient in these finals. Do you think this hurts his legacy if they win, but he's not a big contributor or even a finals MVP candidate?
I think it solidifies the fact that he's not a top 5 guy.
He's not a superstar.
He's not a superstar.
He's a star.
Jaylen Brown looks like the man on that team.
I've always said I don't know what people know about basketball that I don't know. But I am an avid watcher of the NBA. I love the NBA.
Yeah.
Jason Tatum has always been, to me, a little bit under Jaylen Brown. I always have thought that Jaylen Brown is I don't want to say much better player, but if the game is on the line, I am giving the ball to Jaylen Brown. I'm not giving it to Jason Tatum. I'm just not doing it. And in fact, when they were playing the Indiana Pacers in the last series, who was it that sent that game to overtime?
It was Brown.
Jaylen Brown.
Where Jason Tatum went off, quote unquote, in overtime.
In overtime.
But that overtime doesn't even happen unless Jaylen Brown, with ice in his veins from the corner,
with a couple guys on him.
Right.
I couldn't even see him.
No,
I couldn't even see him.
He is the more clutch player. He is the better player. But it's a great question because we always want to find the next, and the next feels like it's Anthony Edwards a little bit. But they've been trying to have next. They've tried to market Jason Tatum as the next for so long.
Yeah,
and it's just not playing out like that.
Yeah,
and maybe he doesn't. And I say this a lot I'll try to be consistent here and follow me along. It might be a terrible analogy, but I think it's okay. I've always said that J.J. McCarthy was a great quarterback, but because his team was so good, he just had to do what he had to do to win the game. Because the Boston Celtics are so good and so deep as a team, maybe that also, I don't want to say stifles
Tatum,
Jason Tatum.
I mean, it shouldn't if you're that guy.
I understand, but
they have other guys to help on that team.
Exactly.
It's a deep team.
Yeah, they are loaded.
and I'm just relating it to football, like where J.J. McCarthy, and maybe it's a terrible analogy, but it's one that comes to mind. When your team is so good, you have to do less.
Right.
You don't have to.
No, you're not carrying them.
You don't have to be Luka.
No.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If Luka was on the Boston Celtics, would he have to have a triple-double every night for them to win?
No, but he would probably be more efficient than Jason Tatum has been.
Yeah, and again, I am not a Jason Tatum is this elite NBA player. I'm not saying that, but I guess I'm trying to justify or kind of give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Why I'm doing that, I don't know.
He's a terrific player, man.
Yeah.
I would love to have him on the Pistons. He could be a superstar on the Pistons,
And,
I believe.
That's my point, though.
but
You don't have to be on
Right.
Boston.
Yeah, but with respect to Tatum, I mean, a couple years ago, it did seem like Tatum was the guy. He was the more flashier guy. Jaylen Brown, while he was good, he did have some problems. He wasn't the most efficient shooter. He can only finish with his right hand and things of that nature. A lot of things people pointed out, but he seems to have elevated his game this playoffs. I mean, we got to just call a spade, and it is seeming like he's becoming the man on this team.
Yeah, and look, they're going to have, when it's all said and done, the Boston Celtics will have the 2 highest paid players in the NBA on their team.
And it's okay as long as you win the championship. It don't matter.
Yeah.
If you win a championship this year, it doesn't matter because you're playing with house money going forward.
I think they have to win a couple of them.
No.
Probably.
If you have the 2 highest paid players in the NBA on your team at those ages, I do think you have to win a couple of them to really
And they might.
make it worthwhile. Yeah. And they might. Look, the East is so bad. The East is so bad. In Philadelphia, to me,
Non-factor
until they get out of the second round of the playoffs. They'll always be a non-factor to me. The New York Knicks,
they're coming.
Nice team.
They need more.
Gritty team. But you got to give me something here.
They need another star.
In the off season. You can't run it back with this group.
No, they will.
You know what I mean?
They're ready. They're ready to take that next step.
Aside from the Orlando Magic,
they're
feels
on
like
the
the rise.
Yeah, they're on the up.
We don't know what's up with Cleveland with Donovan Mitchell.
He's going to probably – I think he's going to be out of there.
No, I don't.
Atlanta feels like a team to me that has a lot of maneuverability.
Mm-hmm.
They never win.
No, but they have the number 1 pick. They have cap space. They have a star in Trae Young.
Yeah,
for now.
You could move. But
you
you could potentially move.
Yeah, he's going to be moved.
So, yeah, those feel like teams to me that could compete. One, Milwaukee. What is Milwaukee? Will Milwaukee ever be that team?
I don't think they rebound anymore. They had their run. I think they're going down.
They may have had their run. Dame doesn't
I don't think he
feel
stays
like
there.
he wants to be there.
He ain't staying there.
Giannis is
when they hired Doc Rivers, it was over.
Yeah,
Giannis is injury prone right now. Let's face it.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
He's breaking
it feels
down.
Like he's kind of on the
breaking
way
down.
So,
that's a good point.
Yeah, so that's what's going on there.
Boston should own the East for the next couple of years. But the Knicks are going to be right there with them.
When you look at the Pistons too, when you watch that game last night, it doesn't take much. It doesn't take much. I feel like the Pistons are so far away from being able to compete remotely with that. But you're like, man, you can make a signing here, a trade there, a veteran here, some growth out of Cade. I mean, come on.
They're ready
man.
to sign him. Did you see that? They're ready to give him a lucrative contract.
I know, man.
At least I read that.
Yeah, what else they going to do?
I know. They could trade him.
For what? Your 2 bowling balls in the bag with $17 in it?
I don't know.
We're going to take a break. Tim Twentyman's going to join us.
Worth more than that?
Tim Twentyman's going to join us next. We'll get into the Caitlin Clark stuff, too, coming up. But first, the message from Premier Pet Supply.
All right, guys. You know it. They're the best pet store in Michigan. Family-owned and operated for over 30 years. 13 Metro Detroit locations. Over 60 brands of food at the lowest prices available, and they are stocked to the roof, guys. They got it all. They're never out of anything. Curbside delivery if you need it. Nutritionists on call as well. Give them right now. It's the best. Don't settle for less. Give your pet the best. PremierPetSupply.com.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard.
Corner, jumper, Allen!
Tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Yo, let me just say, I love Planet Fitness.
Trying out Planet Fitness and dang, they got lots of equipment.
Not me getting a Planet Fitness membership just for the 24-hour perk.
Listen, the PF Black Card is worth every penny for this hydro massage. I'm a new man.
Did y'all know that the PF app has workouts you can do at home? Cheapest therapy I can find is Planet Fitness.
All the benefits, all for less. Planet Fitness, big fitness energy for all.
Braylon Edwards here, Premier Pet Supply. Man, just looking around, who's got it better than pets? Come on, a baby stroller for Coda? A chef for Lola, really? You don't have to tell me who the real boss here is. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody, especially here at Premier Pet Supply. For over 30 years and more than 13 locations, Premier Pet Supply has everything that your pet can dream of, and guess what? It's all under one roof. Premier Pet Supply, family owned, operated, and proud to call Metro Detroit home. Check out premierpetsupply.com or scan the QR code today. Who's got it better than pets?
Nobody! So just to get the heated steering wheel, I also had the spring for the bigger rims.
Yeah, that's how they get you. Those upgrades will cost you an arm and a leg every time.
Hey, new car crew, how'd it go this weekend? I got a great deal on mine.
How?
I went to Randy Wise, not those other guys. They got me in a great new ride, and they didn't break my budget. Hey, could you pass me the sugar?
How?
Never mind.
He made the wise choice.
Yep.
Make the wise choice at RandyWiseBuickGMC.com.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, Tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Hey guys, it is the Woodward Sports Injury Insider with Dr. Jeff Pierce, the medical director of the Michigan Sports and Spine Center, every Tuesday on Big D Energy, every Thursday right here on Armani Edwards and Maz, brought to you by Amon-Ra of Southfield, featuring the most advanced imaging and maximum patient comfort for over 30 years. Make that 20 years. Amon-Ra of Southfield.com. Get them.
And we are broadcasting to you live from the Oakland Hills Country Club for the first stop of the Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour. High-profile series of golf events featuring amazing courses, top-notch outings, and local celebrities. Today's event supporting the American Cancer Society. And our Randy Wise celebrity is Tiger great Kirk Gibson.
Oh,
when it comes to your next car or truck, make the decision, the wise decision, Randy Wise Automotive. And again, it is great to be here at Oakland Hills Country Club, where you see the construction of the clubhouse going on off to our left. The course is in tip-top shape, and that clubhouse is going to be one of the best facilities in the entire United States of America when it is complete in a couple of years.
How about a Ryder Cup here back in the day?
Oh, my goodness.
About 20 years ago
PGA
now, right?
Champion, yeah, 04.
Yeah.
And then the PGA Championship, I believe, in 08 was here as well.
Scotty Scheffler probably would have won that if he was there.
Absolutely. He'll win the next tournament that comes to Oakland Hills as well. Hey, let's talk a little Lions now if we could.
Yeah.
He is the senior writer and insider for DetroitLions.com, Tim Twentyman. How you doing, Tim?
Hey, Tim.
Good. How are you guys doing?
Doing fantastic today, bud. Hey, before we get into what's happening on the field, what in the world happened off of it? Lions get docked or something like that? An OTA day?
What'd they do?
What'd they do?
Yeah, they got docked an OTA day. You know, the rules in the off season, obviously it's no pads. You know, guys are wearing round shorts and a helmet. And, you know, the NFL Players Association takes pretty seriously periods that they deem maybe a little bit too much contact happen. And so I think that's kind of just what happened. The Lions got dinged with having a little bit too much contact in a non-padded practice. And so they got one OTA day taken away. Now, look, the vets are already gone. They left after a mandatory minicamp last week. So it was really just going to be some young players, maybe a couple vets that stuck around, rookies, going through really light, kind of short practices. So they'll you know, still have a couple of those this week. They'll have one open to us, the media, tomorrow. But that's, I think, essentially what happened. Maybe just a little bit too much contact that then is allowed here in the off season.
You know, I know you can't really take a lot from what happens at minicamp, but one of the things that I've always appreciated about this Dan Campbell, Brad Holmes-led team is you look up at SportsCenter, you look up at any one of the sports channels that are talking about the NFL. There's no drama. There's no holdouts. Nobody's waiting on a contract. Nobody's a malcontent. And I do think, Tim, that goes a long way in the success of an organization. Can you just speak to how smooth, knock on wood, everything has run so far up to this offseason, including the re-signing of the four Lions, really four Lions. They got their money and deservedly so.
Yeah, that was huge, you know, to re-sign Jared Goff, to you know, sign a contract extension with Penei Sewell and Amon-Ra St. Brown. That's your core.
Yeah,
that's the key pieces to your football team. And so, you know, what I think that says, not only to your point about limiting drama and holdouts and everything else that comes with, you know, guys wanting a new contract, but I think that those are your best players. Those are the guys that come to work, put their head down, do the work, and have performed on the field. And what that does, I think it reverberates, throughout the locker room. I think it shows that this is an organization willing that if you come in, if you do your part, you put in the work, and you become a really good player, you'll make money. This team will sign you, and they'll sign you to record deals. And so, you know, not only does it limit just the hassle of the off season, of all the contract talks and guys holding out and everything else, but I think it just shows that, you know, this is a team that's willing to pay good young players who are part of this core. And I think, you know, that's not only going to be felt to the guys on this roster, but I think that's going to be felt to free agents too. This wanting to be a place to play, this being a place that will pay guys and take care of them. And so not only to what you talked about, but I think it has larger ramifications as well.
Hey, Tim, talk a little bit about a guy that everyone's talking about, and that's Jameson Williams right now. And it looks like he's really, I don't know, this is his coming out party is the way I want to describe it. What would you say about him?
Yeah, you know, he's looking in the spring. You know, he's going to be that number 2 guy. Josh Reynolds is gone, and so, you know, there's 64 targets that need to go somewhere else, and I think J-Mo's going to see a lot of them. You know, really, his rookie season was a redshirt year, you know, with the knee injury and everything else, and then obviously had a hamstring injury in camp last year, was suspended the first, you know, month of the season, but he really came on strong at the end of last year, and I kind of view this as like that second season, right, where young players usually take that biggest step from year 1 to year 2, like that's this year for J-Mo. You know, he's played in a lot of football games now. He's had some big moments. You look at San Francisco last year, and he's going to get an opportunity. And I think he's not just the guy that runs, you know, really fast deep anymore. I think he's really developed the whole route tree. We saw that this spring. Jared really feels comfortable with him. He made a lot of, you know, some tough catches over the middle, one over the shoulder along the sideline. He's going to be used in a lot of different ways, and this is certainly an opportunity for him to have a really big season as really the number 2 wide receiver in that room.
And you kind of just talked about it, Tim, but just how big is that for this young man to be part of the entire offseason operation? Like, there's no missed time, there's no weeks off, there's no little injury, there's no suspension, there's no nothing. He can participate fully in an offseason. I have to imagine that helps him along as well.
Yeah, it's time on task and it's chemistry with your quarterback. That's what you get. You know, and Jared talked about this a little bit. He's so fast and he's so quick out of his breaks that he had never played with a player like that. That you have to throw it a little bit different to him because he's so fast. I mean, you can put, on one hand, the guys that are in this league that are as fast as James Williams. And so it's a little bit different. So just that time on task, those practice reps, that time with your quarterback. When's he going to come out of this break? Where do I have to put this? It's those little things that you build over time, and that's been so important with Jameson this offseason. He was at every practice. He had all those reps, and I would expect him to have a really big season.
Tim, are you comfortable? Let's just make you a Lion fan for a second. Are you comfortable with the receivers that they have now? Obviously, Saint and J-Mo side. You got Donovan Peoples-Jones, and you got Khalif Raymond, who I know that Dan Campbell loves. Are they still shy one guy?
I think how I look at it when I and I like Khalif Raymond. That's a guy that is very underrated, and a guy, again, that Jared trusts. And Donovan Peoples-Jones has had experience, has made plays in this league. Well, how I view it is, I look at it, well, what happens if something happens to St. Brown?
Right.
What happens if you're without St. Brown for a month? Then now what does that wide receiver room look like? And I think maybe you could use, one more kind of veteran guy who's done it. Wouldn't be surprised if someone is added before training camp starts. But you also have to think about this offense as a whole. And you've got to lump Sam Laporta into that mix as well. That's 121 targets last year.
Brock Wright.
Brock Wright. Even a Jahmyr Gibbs, who had 52 catches and 71 targets last year. They talked last week about expanding his role, getting him in the slot a little bit, doing more than just being a dump-off guy. Let's see if we can get him in space down the field, intermediate parts of the field. So you have to factor in him as well. So if you look at the receiver room as a whole, maybe they could stand to add another guy. But if you then look at Gibbs and Laporta and some of the other weapons that they have, I think pass catchers as a whole, they're in a pretty good spot as long as they don't suffer any injuries.
I'll tell you, man, give me Jahmyr Gibbs. I swear to you, I mean this. I would take him over any running back in the NFL right now from what I saw from him last year. I think the sky's the limit for this guy. And to hear Louis Riddick speak about him tells me I'm right.
Yeah, he's a really good player. He's really explosive, and that was as a rookie,
Exactly.
And so he's so much more comfortable now. And if he becomes a big part of the pass game, I think they are very much going to use him like San Francisco uses Christian McCaffrey, being very much a part of the passing game. I mentioned it. He had, I think, 52 catches, 71 targets. I wouldn't be surprised if he's up over 75-plus catches and rushes for 1,000 yards. I think he's going to have, that kind of impact. He is one of those, dynamic players under 25. PFF did that.
Amazing.
Does that list every year of the, the top players under 25. The Lions had 20% of that list. 5 guys on that list, and he's one of them. So it certainly set up for It certainly set up for sustained success, and he's part of that.
Talking to Tim Twentyman, DetroitLions.com, senior writer, insider. Check him out there on that platform. Tim, I wanted to ask you, too, obviously the veterans are gone, and they'll come back for training camp next month, at the end of next month. But what about the rookies, and how quickly do these rookies assimilate to what the Lions want them to do to the NFL game? I mean, I know it's minicamp, and they're not out there hitting. Did the coaching staff single out anybody is coming along nicely, or is that all just too premature?
No, Terrion Arnold certainly is one of those guys.
Woo-hoo.
I mean, he was starting in minicamp opposite Carlton Davis with the first team. And look, he ended a drill with an interception off Jared Goff on the first day of minicamp. He's been really, really good. He got his hands on some other footballs. He certainly looks like he belongs. He didn't look out of place, and that's the biggest thing when I look at the spring. And you mentioned it without pads and everything else. Just does a guy fit? He doesn't make mistakes. He doesn't slow down the operation, and he makes plays. And Terrion did that. I think, they're going to be a little bit slower with Enos Rakestraw. They got him playing inside. That's obviously a spot where Brian Branch is at right now. And then, some of the other guys, I think Sione Vaki has a chance to, be a core special teams guy, maybe get a little bit on offense. He showed great hands. And then, the defensive tackle out of LSU is going to be, part of that rotation, I think, up front too. A little bit different size, Wingo, quick first step. It'll be interesting to see him with pads because he offers something a little bit unique there. But when you look at the rookies, I think when you're talking about immediate impact and guys that can make plays right away, Terrion Arnold comes to mind. I wouldn't be surprised if he's starting opposite Carl Davis week 1 against the Rams.
Hey, Tim, this is KG on Sounds. Big fan of your work, by the way. And I saw some of the things you wrote on Jack Campbell. This is a player that a lot of people are expecting to take a next step. It looks like he's worked on some things in the coverage part of his game. How does Jack Campbell look, and what can we expect him to look like in the season?
Yeah, he is all about ball. That's the thing when I see Jack Campbell, when I talk to Jack Campbell, when I talk to others about Jack Campbell, the Lions have no worry about him because he is 100% committed to football. He's all about ball, and he got an off season now to, not have to deal with the underwear Olympics and the pre-draft process and everything else. He could just focus on football and focus on his body and focus on the things that he needs to improve on. And he's going to be, I think that guy right there, he's going to be that Mike guy. I wouldn't be surprised at all if him and Alex have 100 tackles. And the biggest part for him is he's got to improve the coverage part, like you talked about. I thought it was a great sign. He had 2 interceptions in minicamp. One, he baited Goff into a throw and stepped right in front of it. It was a really nice play by him. So if he can get better in that aspect of it, then you play more third down. Then you play more third and longs. Then you have some more opportunities to make big plays, right? Sacks, interceptions, and some of the big numbers in big plays that come with playing linebacker position. But look, he is going to be just fine. He's a guy that this organization doesn't worry about. He does all the things right. He works, and he's going to step into that role. And I think he's going to be a linebacker for 10 years and a guy that annually gets about 100 tackles a year.
Hey, Timmy, how about Amik Robertson? What have you seen out of him? This is a guy I think that people are sleeping on. I believe that he's going to be a starter on this team.
Yeah, he was one of my 5 guys that impressed me in minicamp. He really gets his hands on footballs and competes. The guy's only 5'8", but you would, watching him and talking to him, you'd never know it. Watch him on a football field. I think one of the things he offers is obviously he can play inside, can play the nickel, but really he played his best ball in Las Vegas last year when he had to play outside. Played 10 games out there and played really, really well. And so here's a guy that gives you a little bit of versatility. He can play inside. You get an injury outside, he can pop out there too. He can play a really good nickel, so maybe that gives you some leeway with Brian Branch. Maybe he plays a little bit of safety in some packages and does some of those things. So he's tough. He plays much bigger than his size. He really fits what Dan Campbell and Aaron Glenn want on defense. A really physical cornerback who doesn't mind coming up and hit you despite the size, and also gives you some versatility to play inside and outside.
Hey, Tim, I wanted to ask you, last week we were just talking about the Lions, and, there were a couple of media availability sessions for Dan Campbell, and I keep looking at this guy, and I'm like, what's his biggest problem? What's his biggest problem? What's his biggest problem going to be this year? Or what's his biggest challenge? And the thing that I came up with, I want to see what you think about it, is I think his biggest challenge this year will be to get to these guys or keep these guys going day by day, week by week, and not looking ahead. When you haven't won a division championship, when you haven't won a playoff game, when you haven't won a home playoff game, when you haven't done these things, it's a lot easier to stay on task. But when you have done those things, I feel like human nature would be to just look past all that stuff, automatically feel like that is where you will be next year and the year after that, and kind of let things slip through your fingers a little bit in terms of attention to detail and stuff like that. Now, I don't feel like that'll happen with this group, but if there is some area that I think is a level of concern to me, it's just not looking ahead. Just win the practice, win the day.
Yeah, don't assume you're going to be back, right? I mean, I'm sure Dan Marino thought that he would play in the Super Bowl again after getting there. What was it, his rookie year or second year?
His rookie year, yeah, right?
Yeah, his rookie year, and was never back. And I think that's kind of, been one of Dan's talking points this year. Is just don't assume we'll be back. You have to put in the work. You have to do the little things like you talked about every day of practice. We have to get a little bit better. What's the saying? If you're not getting better, you're getting worse.
Yep.
And those have been the messages here. It's don't ever assume anything. You have to earn it just like you did last year. Do we feel good about our chances? Is this the best roster we've had in a long time? Sure. Yes, it is. But you still have to go out there and perform do the little things right. And I would be very, very surprised if this team didn't, with how close they got last year and how they felt that they gave that game away and didn't get an opportunity to finish it. I think this is a very hungry group, despite the first division title in 30 years and the first playoff win in 32 years and all the things that they accomplished last year. They felt that they had a Super Bowl winning team, and they let it slip through their hands, and they are determined not to let that happen again.
I hope you're right, man. Hey, I can't let you go without asking about the kicking game, and I hear good things about James Turner from Michigan. I know Money Badger's there. There's a guy who kicked for the Panthers, of course, and Jake Bates. What's the kicking game looking like going forward? What's your take on that?
Yeah, Turner actually has looked really good. He didn't miss a kick in minicamp, and booted one. I was standing under the goalpost. I think it was like 55 yards, and it went way over my head. It would have been good from 65. So he's got a strong leg. Can he do it consistently? Can you count on him for the 48, 40, 49, 44 yarders that you have to be money on in this league? That'll be interesting come training camp. We talked to Dave Phipp. He said Michael Badgley really worked hard to improve his leg strength a little bit. We saw in the first couple OTAs, he had a 60-yarder, and so there's a little bit of leg there. So it'll be a good competition. I think there's going to be a lot of teams that want to sign Bates just to get him into camp and see what they can do. We'll see if the Lions are part of that. But look, Badgley was really good at the end of the year. He was perfect in the playoffs, including a 54-yarder to help beat the Rams. So I think either way they go, they're going to feel pretty good about the fact that they've got a guy that they can trust to make some kicks, and either way, Dan's going to go for a lot on fourth down anyway. So we'll see how that goes.
That's a fact, man. Hey, you're working alone there right now, unless you hire somebody pretty soon. Our own Mike O'Hara has left the building. I mean, nobody better than Mo. Wait, what was it?
Years.
Yeah, I mean, I know the guy real well. He's a friend of mine. What was it like working with him and learning under him?
It was great. I had the benefit of doing it at the Detroit News. I worked for the Detroit News for 8 years before I took this job, and obviously Mike was a longtime columnist at the News too before he came here. So pretty much my whole professional year, I've been able to work with and learn from a guy who's been doing it, for 46 years, covering a beat. Like you said, he's one of the best in the business, and so I consider myself very, very fortunate to have been able to work with and learn from Mr. Mike O'Hara. And it'll be sad to see him go, but I'm sure he'll pop in from time to time at some Lions games and grace us all with his stories.
Of course.
Oh, yeah. He will grace us for sure. Hey, Tim, thanks so much for spending some time with us on a Monday. Really appreciate your insights, and we enjoy you on DetroitLions.com, and we invite everybody right now listening or watching us to head on over to DetroitLions.com. Great content on that platform. Thanks so much, Tim.
See you, Timmy.
Yeah, appreciate it anytime, guys.
You got it. Man. The great Tim Twentyman, DetroitLions.com senior writer. And I think Tim is spot on there. Like, it doesn't feel like this is a Lions team that is going to look ahead. He had mentioned Dan Marino. When Dan Marino made it to the Super Bowl, I guarantee you he thought he would make it to one or two more. Yeah. When the Dallas Cowboys made it to the NFC Championship game in 1995, I guarantee you they thought they'd be back.
And they were.
For 1 year.
They have not.
That's right. Since 95, you're right.
They have not been back since 1995.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. I mean, it is hard to get back, but if there's a roster that can do it, if there's a coaching staff that can do it, if there's a front office that can do it, I believe it is your Detroit Lions.
This team is built, man. They're built for the long haul. They ain't going anywhere. And like you say, I use ain't for effect.
That's right.
They're not going anywhere.
And
they're here, man.
And yeah,
get used to it.
I just everything just feels like it's in line for them right now. And again, what is Dan Campbell's biggest problem? I just keep trying to go back to that. And again, the H word. I'm not even going to mention it, but the H word, and it starts with H and it ends in H. Wait, no, does health? No.
Yeah, as an H. You're right.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it does. I'd go with the I and the Y.
Yeah, right.
Then I know I have to fill that in.
Do that. But
that's what I'm petrified of that.
Obviously,
I am petrified.
You don't have to be petrified of it.
I am.
Health is what health is, but nonetheless, it doesn't have to be. But it feels like that is the only thing that can derail these guys because of how they're built. This team,
they're built for tough.
They are, and they have an identity. The type of players they pick, Amon-Ra St. Brown got paid. Jared Goff got paid. Penei Sewell got paid. They aren't players that I feel will get the bag and then be like, I'm good now.
They're not.
I'm going to take the foot off the pedal a little bit. If anything, those are 3 players now that are going to put their foot on the pedal, stomp on that thing, and go even harder.
Just think how good Amon-Ra St. Brown will be this year when J-Mo is what he's supposed to be.
Yeah.
It's I don't know who you cover. And then it's like a Sam Laporta. Who are you covering on this team? Who are you covering on this team?
Well, that's a defense's biggest challenge. And then, again, that's one of the reasons why I think Ben Johnson
he
stayed, because you have so much success. You have so much creativity. You love it here.
Hey,
and
you heard Dan on Friday.
Yeah.
I want the whole enchilada.
Yeah.
He wants the Super Bowl. He's not afraid. You remember when they lost to the Niners, he's like, I don't know if we'll get back here.
Yeah.
Guess what? He had a few months off. He is locked and ready to go. And nothing's stopping this team, like you said, unless bad things happen.
Yeah, I mean,
that you can't control.
You want the whole enchilada, and that's what you've got to do. Speak it into existence, right? I've never been one of those guys to shy about what you want. Say what you want. Talk about what you want. Touch it. Feel it. Go about trying to win that championship. Get that elusive Vince Lombardi trophy. Put a picture of it in your locker room if you have to.
How about this?
Even if it's not the real thing.
As a Lions fan, this for the first time in my life, I will be totally devastated if they don't win the Super Bowl.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a failed season.
Yes,
I'm going to say that.
Last year was a failed season. If you don't win, if you don't play and you don't play a home playoff game, remember that?
Yep.
That's passé now.
Right.
It's Super Bowl or bust.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it 100 more times, KG, that I do believe there's not a team in the league that I expect to. I'll say get to the Super Bowl or bust.
No, absolutely.
That's what I say. I'm not going to say Super Bowl championship or bust. I say NFC championship or bust.
Facts.
Yes, that's a good point. And, yeah, man, like I'm a firm believer that if you do it once, you can absolutely do it again. And it's easy as humans to be like, oh, we got there once, we can do it again. We know the groundwork that has to be laid in order to do that. But this team's not complacent. Their coach is not complacent. Brad Holmes isn't complacent. They're going to find a way to get back in this situation, Lord willing, that nothing outside of their control goes wrong. But this is what the mission was. I said it last week. The minute they signed off to that extension, the clock is on. And every year that we don't get it done, that vice gets tighter. So they know what they have at stake, and I expect them to move accordingly.
What did they need last year? What did they fail on?
Kicker?
Kicker's one thing.
Yeah.
Defensive backfield. So what did they do this year?
Yeah.
They draft 2 of the top 3 cornerbacks in the draft. What else do they do? They go out and get Carlton Davis for a 3rd-round pick. What else do they do? They get Amik Robertson from the Raiders. They sign him as a free agent.
Not just that, the coaches too. Deshae Townsend, Terrell Williams on the defensive line.
Terrell Williams is a huge upgrade. That's what Dan Campbell always loved this guy when he was the right-hand man for Mike Vrabel. Who else do you bring in? DJ Reader.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on, man. They're better than they were last year.
Right.
Yep. And they attack all the weaknesses.
Yeah, I think every position group there are better as well. So, I don't know. It's going to be an exciting season.
Stay healthy and you win the Super Bowl.
There you go.
That's
or at least you win the NFC.
Yep.
Guys, we'll take a break. We'll come right back. And when we do, we'll get into the talk of the weekend, the talk of every major sports show. I saw Good Morning America talking about it today. Caitlin Clark left off the Olympic team. We have our thoughts, and we disagree.
Yeah. Have we ever even thought about women's basketball?
But first, the message from, I believe, Planet Fitness. Planet Fitness. How about that?
All right. Planet Fitness. Planet Fitness is the home of the judgment-free zone where anyone, and we mean anyone, can feel comfortable and work on their fitness goals. At Planet Fitness, you will experience a squeaky clean gym that has tons of equipment, a full-body workout in just 30 minutes, and all memberships include fitness training. You get all of this for just $10 a month, no commitment. No matter where you are, there's a Planet Fitness close by. There are more than 50 in Metro Detroit and thousands more throughout the world. That is Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
So just to get the heated steering wheel, I also had the spring for the bigger rims.
Yeah, that's how they get you. Those upgrades will cost you an arm and a leg every time.
Hey, new car crew, how'd it go this weekend? I got a great deal on mine.
How?
I went to Randy Wise, not those other guys. They got me in a great new ride, and they didn't break my budget. Hey, could you pass me the sugar?
How?
Never mind.
He made the wise choice.
Yep.
Make the wise choice at RandyWiseBuickGMC.com.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Hey, gang. Awesome is when a guy can be a guy and get an amazing haircut. That's what Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men offers you. The chance to stop in, sit back, relax, and let one of Lady Jane's talented stylists make you look and feel great. You can walk in anytime, 7 days a week. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
All right, and we are at Oakland Hills Country Club for the first stop of the Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour, a series of high-profile golf events featuring amazing courses, top-notch outings, and local celebrities. Today's event is supporting the American Cancer Society. Our Randy Wise Celebrity, of course, today, Tiger's great, Kirk Gibson. Actually, I walked Gibby to a car today. I love Gibby. When it comes to your next car or truck, make the wise decision. It's Randy Wise Automotive.
All right, here we go, guys. It was the talk of the weekend.
Still is.
Still is. It's the talk of all day Monday, the lead topic more so than anything else happening in the sports world.
Your TV people still talking about it?
Yep. It is
right.
Caitlin Clark being left off of the Team USA Olympic basketball team. And you may not think she's one of the best 12 people out there. However you feel about her. I will say.
She is, by the way.
I am. I don't know about that, Maz. I just don't know enough about women.
She's been in the league a month.
I don't know.
Best shooter in the game.
Listen to me. I don't know enough about women's basketball to make that statement.
You don't have to. She's the best shooter in the game.
Okay.
That doesn't make her the best player or one of the 12 best.
Let me just. You can jump in if you want, but
I'm
let me
pissed.
just. Okay, let me just. You go there. You go first.
I'm pissed.
You go first.
How do you leave the Steph Curry off your team? How do you leave the best shooter in the game, in the history of the women's game, the best shooter? How do you leave her off the team? When she is the talk of women's basketball, when she put women's basketball on her back, when she changed the WNBA, which is a losing franchise, a losing league. They have never made money. They're a drain on the NBA. But guess what? Maybe not going forward anymore. And it's all because of one person, and it's Caitlin Clark. Now, I don't care really about the Olympics, women's game. They're going to win the gold medal anyway.
If you put the 12th person on the WNBA on every roster, how many teams are there in the WNBA?
I don't know.
If you took the 12th person on the 12th woman on every WNBA team, they'd still win the gold.
Correct.
Just want to say that.
They'd win the gold.
Yeah.
And, look, I'm a fan of the girl at Stanford. And why is her name leaving me right now?
Couldn't even tell you who it is.
Yeah, you do. She's a beautiful girl. Cameron Brink. I know she's got the height. She made the team. Christian Laettner made the dream team as a rookie. No, he didn't play a lot. And now they give you the spiel about, if we put Caitlin on and we don't play her a lot, people are going to complain. What a crock of crap.
It's the truth.
That is. Kenny, really?
I'm sorry, man.
Honestly,
I'm sorry.
What's wrong? I mean, I thought you were a sports fan.
No, I am.
So why don't you want to see the best shooter ever to lace them up be in the league, be on television? Are you going to watch the women's game? On Olympics, are you really going to tune
If
it
she
in?
was on it, I probably wouldn't, regardless.
If Caitlin Clark was on the Olympic team, you're not going to turn it on.
Probably wouldn't. But that's just, I just want to be real about it.
I'm being real. I don't watch the women's game except for the Final Four, which I've always done. I've always watched the Final Four. And the WNBA, I only watched when the Shock was around. That's it. Other than that, I don't watch it. Caitlin Clark, they're moving games from 4,000-seat arenas to 22,000-seat arenas, and they're selling them out. Don't even go. There's no reason that this woman was not picked. It's an insult that she has not picked to be on that team.
I can kind of get your point, Maz, but yes, she is the best shooter in the college game. She has not done that in the WNBA.
She's averaging 25 points a game.
Listen, and while I understand that she's only been in the league a month, and there are a lot of cases in the men's Olympic game where rookies are rare. You don't see a lot of rookies on this team. To me,
that's because they won't let them.
Well, that's to be debated. But to me, she has to earn her lump. She's young. She has plenty of Olympic teams in her future.
Cameron Brink's on the team.
I understand that.
She's averaging 3 points a game.
Listen.
No, you listen. No, you listen.
But I do understand that. I just think she needs to take more of her lumps. And then when you look at
taking lumps, they're knocking her on her ass every other day.
She'll be okay, man.
Yeah,
It's
I know
just a
she'll be
pick.
okay.
It's not like they're assaulting the girl.
I understand.
mean, this outrage is kind of like it's a little much to me. But I think that's all part of the plan as well, because you think that they didn't know by leaving Caitlin Clark off the Olympic team the type of reaction it would get. It keeps her name in the news. It keeps the news cycles going, because if she was added to the team, you probably wouldn't care as much. You
All
can't
right.
tell me you would.
Well, can I play the video for her?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, here's Caitlin Clark.
I'm enjoying
press
listening
conference,
to you guys
press
talk
conference.
about this.
Caitlin Clark. Hey, Caitlin. Hey, you didn't make the team.
Caitlin, what was your reaction when you saw the USA team yesterday, the roster come out?
Yeah, I think I'm excited for the girls that are on the team. I know it's the most competitive team in the world, and I know it could have gone either way of me being on the team, me not being on the team. So, I'm excited for them. I'm going to be rooting them on to win gold. I was a kid that grew up watching the Olympics, so it'll be fun to watch them.
What was your level of disappointment not hearing your name on the roster?
Honestly, no disappointment. I think it just gives you something to work for. That's a dream. Hopefully one day I can be there, and I think it's just a little more motivation. You remember that, and hopefully in 4 years, when 4 years comes back around, I can be there.
Did you have a direct conversation with managing director or whoever's over there at USAB recently?
Yeah, they called me and let me know, and before everything came out, which was really respectful of them, and I appreciated that. And they did the same for every girl that made the team or every girl that didn't make the team. There's a lot of players in the Olympic pool, so it wasn't like I was the only one they had to call. They had to make quite a few calls.
Are you looking forward to a break, from Olympic action, basketball in general, I guess?
Absolutely. It's going to be really nice. I've loved competing every single second, but it's going to be a great month for my body to, first of all, get rest and get healthy and just get a little time away from basketball and the craziness of everything that's been going on, and, just find some peace and quiet for myself. But then additionally, a great opportunity for us to work and get better, a great opportunity for myself to get in the weight room, to work on the court and work at things that I want to get better at that I maybe didn't have time going from college to the pro season. So I'm looking forward to it. But at the same time, we still have a month of games where we have a lot of opportunities to win a lot of games. So that's where my main focus is.
Class. That's what that is. Class.
But if she doesn't care, why should we?
She cares.
She
does cares.
Care. No, she's saying that publicly.
No, and I'm seeing a lot of Cameron Brink didn't make the team in the chat. We got to confirm that.
I don't even
I
know
can show
Cameron
you. She has a freaking jersey.
I don't even know
show
who
you.
Cameron
But
Brink
a
is.
lot of good players did not make this team as well. It wasn't like it was just her.
Diana Taurasi's 49 years old, whatever the hell she is.
Let me get a hold of this conversation.
Take a hike.
Let me get a hold of this conversation, because I have not weighed in on this yet. I think everybody is completely missing the point about this. I remember being on vacation on spring break in Florida, and everybody was fighting to get to a television to see Caitlin Clark play basketball.
Yep.
Now, the WNBA has been around for 28 years. They have averaged less than 5,000 people in their stadiums.
Yeah.
what is happening in women's basketball right now is a moment. And I have to tell you, right now on June 10th, 2024, I am out. I am totally out on women's basketball. I want no part of Caitlin Clark. I want no part of the hate for Caitlin Clark. This conversation has totally divulged into a war, into complete nonsense, into the most bitter, resentful, hateful conversation that I can remember in sports outside of, did this player take the vaccine or not? That's the last conversation that was as horrific as this conversation. This conversation regarding Caitlin Clark has nothing to do with basketball anymore. It doesn't.
Yeah.
This is a culture war with Caitlin Clark. And how people in the WNBA cannot understand, if you want to play in front of 4,000 fans a night, if you want to fly just on –
By the way, half of those tickets were given away.
If you want to play in front of 4,000 people a night, if you want to play in crappy television revenue, if you want to complain about how much money you're making, fine. I'm out. I want no more talk of the WNBA. I don't want anything more. And I'm not saying there aren't great players. There were great golfers before Tiger Woods came along, too, and brought an entire swath of mainstream to your sport.
That's me.
And you know what? There might have been some golfers along the way that gave Tiger Woods a lot of hardship. And you know what? That's fine. But when Fred Couples is sitting there, I just finished 5th in this tournament and I made more than I made when I won the tournament 2 years ago. We're getting this for the winner's purse now. If I finish 10th in this tournament, I get this.
Yeah.
I can make this sponsorship now. I can go out there and wear this on my bag. That is because of one person joining the game, and that's Tiger Woods. Shohei Ohtani, Tiger Woods, Steph Curry. Yep. There have been great players before these players came along, but these players have totally brought way more people into the sport, and everybody benefits from it.
And Victor will be one of those.
Yeah.
Why these women cannot see this is one of the most moronic, and I use that word strongly and not loosely, one of the most moronic things I have ever seen in sports outside of the COVID vaccine discussion.
And everybody you just named, and while I get that part of it, you're not wrong, but everybody you just named has had to earn that. They had to earn that mantle. And that's my only thing with this. We shouldn't just roll out the carpet just because she's a phenom. She has to earn her place as well.
Kenny.
But Kenny,
you're missing the point.
I understand the business side of it, but that's going to come with time.
But what hasn't she
time?
earned?
It's already here.
Like she's the all-time leader, men's or women's scorer in college basketball history.
Not the WNBA. But that's just my argument. That's just mine.
Okay.
Diana Taurasi couldn't carry her jock.
Okay, but stop. Jesus.
Why?
It's so hard to have a discussion.
I can't help it. I'm passionate.
But I'm just saying, like, I understand the earning part of it. But I don't know enough about these women, and I'm sure they're all qualified to be on this team.
Yeah.
Every single one of these women is qualified to be on this team. And no, I don't know who you take out. But one thing I do know, that you are stifling the growth of your sport. I have only heard for the last 5, 6, 7 years about the WNBA and women's basketball, and I'm sure they're all great. 99.9% of the country could not name you one woman on this basketball team outside of Brittany Griner, and that is because of non-basketball reasons. And what I am saying is, if you put Clark on the team, even if she rides the bench or plays the last 2 minutes of every game where they're up 50, you might come to this and be like, oh, wow, she's really good at basketball. I want to follow her. I think Team USA or whoever was behind keeping Clark off the team, whoever was behind it, because I do think there is some.
I think it was purposeful because we're still talking about her.
Yeah, but now it's the wrong reasons. Now it's not about Clark anymore. It's about how this conversation is so hateful and it is so dumb. And again, after today, I am no longer talking about women's basketball.
Yes, you are.
I'm not.
I
am out.
Put it this way.
I want nothing to do with it.
The Olympics, I love the Olympics. I'm not tuning in.
I'm out.
I'm not tuning in for the women's U.S. team. I'm not. I don't give a damn.
I'm
out.
But
if Caitlin was there, I would have made appointment TV and I would have DVR'd it.
But
I would have recorded it.
A lot of people
I don't give a damn anymore.
But you and millions of other people would have. That's the
Correct.
point. And I think that's just the point of this whole thing. Like, there's marketing and there's like, I heard Colin talking about this today. Is Jaylen Brown not one of the top best 15 players in the NBA?
It's hard to argue at this point. He's becoming that, yes.
Okay. Why is he not on the Team USA basketball team?
It's not a moneymaker.
I just
politics.
There are I don't know. I mean, it just
he's
feels
not
like
in the boys' club.
It just feels like you don't want me watching your sport. I'll take you up on that. I'm not going to watch your sport. You know what I mean? It's so mean and so nasty and so bitter and so it's just Braylon Edwards 2 years ago, okay? 2 years ago. And I told him we cannot talk about it. He comes into the meeting and he says, hey, he's like, you got to watch this whatever he said. Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
You got to watch this Caitlin Clark from Iowa. I'm like, bro, there's no way I'm talking about college basketball player from Iowa on a Detroit sports show. Do we hate our listeners? Do we hate our viewers? I'm not doing it. And he just kept saying, you got to watch this Caitlin Clark.
Yep.
You got to watch her.
He sold me.
It wasn't until a couple of months ago that I started watching. She changed the game, and it just feels like it is what it is. It's so hateful. It's not even a fun discussion.
It's pathetic.
It's just not even a fun discussion
well, listen,
anymore.
I'm going to bring it up again. I'm sorry. Diana Taurasi's 41.
But she's a legend, though. She's a legend in the women's game.
But she's not one of the top 15 players. By your standard, she is not one of the top 15 players in the sport today.
And she's already won all those gold medals already.
So even if it's not Caitlin Clark, she's taking a spot away from somebody that's more deserving. Even if you just remove Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
And again, I don't know enough about the WNBA to say who that player is. I've heard a million names be mentioned as really significant snubs outside of Clark.
Yeah, it wasn't just her.
It wasn't just her. But
she's the main one.
Taurasi would be one that I think, okay, you're not doing this for the betterment of the team. You're doing this for the betterment of Taurasi.
And she's been the most outspoken women's basketball player from the get-go against Caitlin Clark.
Like Lisa Leslie said,
jealousy.
I don't know. Lisa Leslie came out and said, I just don't know how you keep her off the team. You know, like and again, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I just don't want to talk about it because it's not sports anymore.
Yeah.
It's like it's like this war that's going on.
It was kind of developing into that
Yeah.
even when she was in college, though.
Yeah.
The whole thing between her and Angel Reese, the second meeting and stuff of that nature.
But again, Angel Reese, we know Angel Reese, not because of basketball.
Yeah.
It's, Angel Reese
I've
came
been
out of
saying
the
that.
scene because she went like that.
Right.
And fighting with Caitlin Clark. And again, you're right about that. I didn't even think about that, Kenny.
Yeah.
You're right about that.
Turning into that.
Yep. And it's sad because I think sports should be bringing everybody together.
It's supposed to be about enjoyment.
And this particular topic tears everybody apart.
Yeah.
And that's why I want no part of it any longer, because it's not bringing anybody together, and that's really unfortunate. So that'll be the last word on that, unless you guys got any final thoughts on this.
Nah, we can agree to disagree, but I do get your guys' point.
And
the business side is important.
Yeah, I totally understand what you're saying about it. I really do. I just think, like, do you think Stephen A. Smith is the most talented sports writer of all time?
Not at all.
But what did he perfect?
Entertainment.
the marketing aspect of it. He markets himself better than anybody going today. And you know what that meant for Stephen A? Highest paid personality at ESPN.
That's facts.
And you could have the best sports show in the world. If you don't market it, nobody's listening to you. Nobody's watching you. You could be the best whatever. You could be the best lawyer in the world. But if you don't market yourself, nobody's going to be able to find you.
Big facts.
It's just the way it is. Guys, we'll take a break. Come right back. Talk a little baseball. I want to get into the Tigers. And I want to get into the little NFL, too, because there's a sports reporter, national football reporter that says J.J. McCarthy a clear backup in Minnesota.
Ooh.
We'll talk about that coming up. But first, a message from...
We'll do Guardian.
Guardian Alarm.
All right, Guardian Alarm. Customized solutions from real experts. Our professional technicians take the time to recommend security and automation solutions specific to your needs, 24/7 professional monitoring. Call us anytime, day or night, and know that a Guardian team member will stay on the phone as long as needed. Technology backed by people. Your safety and security deserves technology that has been proven to work and people that have been proven to care. But y'all know what the number is. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT. Once again, that's 1-800-STAY-OUT. Guardian Alarm, your local Guardian Alarm, your local security experts.
All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
So just to get the heated steering wheel, I also had the spring for the bigger rims.
Yeah, that's how they get you. Those upgrades will cost you an arm and a leg every time.
Hey, new car crew, how'd it go this weekend? I got a great deal on mine.
How?
I went to Randy Wise, not those other guys. They got me in a great new ride, and they didn't break my budget. Hey, could you pass me the sugar?
How? Never mind.
He made the wise choice.
Yep.
Make the wise choice at randywisebuickgmc.com.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Now more than ever, it is critical for you to have your insurance reviewed. Swiss Insurance will make sure your carrier is not slipping in extra fees. Call Mark at Swiss Insurance today, 313-530-1698. That's right, 313-530-1698. SwissINS.com. Call today.
We are broadcasting live from Oakland Hills Country Club for the first stop of the Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour, a series of high-profile golf events featuring amazing courses, top-notch outings, and local celebrities. Today's event is supporting the American Cancer Society, and our Randy Wise celebrity is Tiger great Kirk Gibson. When it comes to your next car or truck, make the wise decision. Randy Wise Automotive. Braylon playing golf out here today. Tom Mazaway in the big chair. How you doing, Maz? You good?
I'm good, man. I'm pissed. What can I tell you? I don't want to argue, I guess. I don't get it.
Well, no,
I've been a sports fan my whole life. I'm 62 years old.
Right.
I like watching good things. I like watching fun things. That's why Steph Curry, to me, is my favorite player of all time. And I was a Knick fan growing up. I loved Walt Frazier, loved Julius Erving. To me, Steph Curry passed them all. You know why? Because I tuned in to watch him. You know why? Because nobody shot a basketball like this guy. And I compare Caitlin Clark to Steph Curry on the women's side. I don't know what to tell you. I have no idea what to tell you why she's not on this team or why she takes the abuse she does. But I guess it is what it is. That's why I stay in my bubble. I don't watch the news. I listen to 60s, 70s, and 80s music.
That I can attest. 70s on that I can attest.
I watch Leave It to Beaver at home. I watch The Love Boat. I watch Seinfeld every day. I watch Batman from 1966. I just don't give a damn. Do what the hell you want. Okay? Do what the hell you want.
Oh, my God.
Don't hate me, Mass.
It is what it is, Kenny.
So great. That is so great.
I don't get it.
Tom Mazaway.
I done pissed Maz off this
How do you
week.
not watch? How do you not want to watch the greatest shooter of all time? I don't get it. I don't get it. It's mind-boggling.
Let me know when it's done.
Freaking boggling to me.
Again, it shouldn't. I just don't want to go back to it because again, I'll go back to doing what I was doing.
Yeah.
I don't care that much. Like I just don't want to fight. I don't want to
be
fight
that
anymore.
divisive.
Right? It should not be. A woman's basketball player should not be like the Cuban Missile Crisis. Okay, like this should not tear people apart. She's a great player. She's done great things for the game.
She's playing in front of 22,000 every night when she's playing. When she's not, they're playing in front of 4,000.
And again, if I was in the spot that many of these women who have been carrying the league and being great players in the league, and you're like, why didn't you notice us? I don't know how things work. You know what I mean? It just does. It's like a Stanley. You know the Stanley Cup, and I'm not talking about the tournament.
Mm-hmm. I know
the NHL. The Stanley Cup that is such a craze right now.
The thing that you have to, it's like lifting a weight.
Yes. The Stanley Cup that is so popular now has been around for 70 years.
Ain't that something?
70 years. Why did it just become popular in the last 12 months? I don't know.
Marketing.
But that's it.
Yeah. Instagram.
It's been around for 70 plus years, that Stanley Cup. But only in the last 12 years did that Stanley Cup be a part where teens are renting out their Stanley Cups so that other teens who couldn't find the cup can take a picture with it and post it on their own Instagram.
Amazing.
Marketing is everything in this country and beyond, really.
Yeah.
That's how money is made. I don't know why the Stanley Cup became popular.
It's only been a month. That's my only retort to that is that it's only been a month, guys. She's been in the league 1 month.
Right.
She'll have plenty of Olympic teams to be on. She'll do everything that we project that she will do.
And I don't disagree with you. And that will absolutely be the case.
Christian Laettner wasn't in the league at all. Okay.
I know, but I guess my point is when do things become a thing? I don't know.
Yeah.
They just happen. Marketing, right? It just happened. It's a groundswell.
I promise you this. I will not be watching the women's basketball team, USA. That's me. I'm not tuning in for it.
So is that a change in behavior for you?
No.
Like because what I'm saying is, like I can't not watch something that I just didn't watch anyway.
Correct.
So
I'm just going to continue doing what I've always used to do. Except this year was going to be different. I was actually looking forward to it, but not anymore.
Like I heard about this groundswell of a boycott. I'm like, how do you boycott something?
I'm not boycotting it. I'm just doing what I usually do.
Very good.
Will you watch the WNBA at all?
That.
Only when she's playing.
All right.
That's it. But Tiger Woods. I hate. Excuse me. I'm not a.
That's true.
I'm not a golf fan. I'm not. I'm not.
Right. We're at Oakland Hills, by the way.
Tiger Woods. I never missed him. Never missed when he played.
Even when Tiger Woods is shooting out there, shooting 85.
Yep. I wanted to watch him. I went to the Buick Open at Warwick Hills to watch Tiger Woods shoot minus 30 under.
Right.
You want to draw me into your sport? Get me someone that I like to watch. I like to watch Tiger Woods, one of my favorite athletes of all time. Caitlin Clark. My favorite women's basketball player.
Do you like to watch J.J. McCarthy?
I did. He was a champion. He's hardly lost one game as a Michigan player. I love him, and I'm rooting for him.
News coming out,
not against us.
News coming out of Minnesota is that J.J. McCarthy is a clear backup, and it's not even close. This is Sam Darnold's team in 2024, and
they must want to draft high again.
Well, look, I don't hate that. I do not hate that for J.J. McCarthy.
Neither do I. He's not forced into that starting lineup.
I actually think it's a great thing for J.J. McCarthy. And I think if you look at Sam Darnold, a lot of coaches that know quarterbacks, Kyle Shanahan and Kevin O'Connell have both signed Sam Darnold.
Correct.
Yeah.
They believe there's something there. And I have always said that I thought J.J. McCarthy should go back to school and get one more year under his belt and then come to the NFL.
That would have been nice for Michigan.
That would have been nice for Michigan, and I think that would have benefited J.J. McCarthy. I think this guy's got all the tools. I still think he's going to be the best quarterback in this class when it's all said and done, but I do not think that starts this year. I think this year, and you go back to the all-time, Tom Brady sat, Patrick Mahomes sat behind Alex Smith. He didn't have to go out there, start year one, game one. People forget about that. Mm-hmm. It wasn't until that second year that Patrick Mahomes was inserted midway through the year. So I don't think that's a negative stain on J.J. McCarthy at all. What say you?
I'm with you 100%. There's no reason to rush him. I don't think Minnesota is going to be challenging to win the NFC North this year. I mean, the Lions are the best team in the NFC, if you're asking me, right there with the Niners. And then right on their tail, you got the Green Bay Packers and the upstart Chicago Bears. Minnesota's playing for fourth this year. They're playing for the Bears, third and fourth. I think the Bears got them this year. Minnesota's got a lot of good offensive weapons. I love Aaron Jones in the backfield. Obviously, J.J. and Addison on the outside. They're going to be tough. They got a nice defense. Great draft again. They're on the ups. Like I said, the NFC North is the second best division in football behind the AFC North.
Kenny, your thoughts on J.J. McCarthy being a clear backup?
Yeah, and as somebody that's watched a lot of J.J. McCarthy, he had a lot of great starter quality things about him coming out of college. But one thing, of course, he has the rocket arm, but one thing he did have to work on was his accuracy. Mm-hmm. So I don't think it's the worst thing in the world because we are just in a microwave generation, man. We want things so fast. We've gotten away from quarterbacks having to sit for a year, 2 years, 3 years. And a perfect example of that is Jordan Love. Look at what the transformation Jordan Love has went through just in sitting 3 to 4 years behind in Aaron Rodgers. Towards the end of the year, you start seeing a lot of that, a lot of Aaron Rodgers-esque plays that he was making and him having a better second half of the season. So, yeah, we've gotten away from wanting to sit quarterbacks, and there's reasons for that, of course. A lot of these regimes come in, they have a window to win, mandated to win in. But I think we should get more to that. We should get back to letting your quarterback sit and not just throwing him in the fire and then looking crazy when he's 2 and 15 right. and your team's going down to 2. You know,
and then they've lost all their confidence, and then their careers are over because they can't get their confidence back.
C.J. Stroud is a pretty different cat.
I mean, but how often does that come along?
Again, that's a unicorn.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, C.J. Stroud is a unicorn.
Best QB rookie year ever.
You know?
Ever.
And he took a team,
even
by the
with
way,
Dan Marino,
with a first-year defensive coach, a team that was 3 straight years 3-13 and won a division and went to the playoffs.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
won a game.
Won a game in the playoffs. That's incredible.
And led Baltimore in the first half of the second game.
And to be honest with you, outside of Patrick Mahomes, if you are starting a team right now, an expansion team, so I take age into account.
Yes.
C.J. Stroud, your second quarterback?
Absolutely.
You know, so there's a lot there with that young man.
That team has really turned it around.
Yeah.
They're in good hands, man, over there.
Absolutely.
Very good hands.
Absolutely. And again, that's it. You've got a defensive head coach. You've got a rookie quarterback who's now in his second year. Incredibly gifted head coach too. Incredibly gifted.
They buy into him. They like him.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's got. You can just see the personality that flies out of him. Mm-hmm. And same thing for our guy here, Dan Campbell. Man, I wouldn't want anyone but Dan Campbell on this team.
No doubt. And again, a coach that played for the organization, that has ties for the organization. They mirror each other so well, those two head coaches in Detroit.
And in a freaky way, they could be Super Bowl teams.
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
No doubt. I wanted to ask you this, just getting back to the McCarthy, because so they're saying in Minnesota that Sam Darnold is the clear starter over J.J. McCarthy right now. How would you feel if you're a Denver Bronco fan right now? They are saying that if the season started today, which it doesn't, and again, Bo Nix is a rookie, albeit, that Zach Wilson would be the starting quarterback in Denver. Would that make you feel like I get Sam Darnold?
Wait.
If Zach Wilson is ahead of me on the depth chart, I might want to look in the mirror.
Look, I gotta say, Zach Wilson, he couldn't have been drafted by a worse franchise at that point in his life. Same with Christian Hackenberg years ago. He went to the Jets, and he fizzled out, became nothing. Just fell off the NFL. He came out this weekend and said New York probably wasn't the place. Christian Hackenberg from Penn State.
Yep.
He said that probably wasn't the place for me. I didn't belong on that team. It was not a good start for me. Zach Wilson, we all know, not a good start for him. Yeah. Then they bring in Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers brings this kid up in camp, and the kid is really starting to get his confidence back again. What happens? 4 plays into the league, Aaron Rodgers is out. Here comes Zach Wilson. Awful year. Had no chance. He now goes to a quarterback guru in Sean Payton, and they got him for what, a 7th-round pick? Matter of fact, they swapped 7th-round picks.
Right.
They basically got him for free. I think he is going to fit in good in Denver. It sounds crazy, and I know Bo Nix is the guy they want to bring up.
That's the first crazy thing you've said today.
I think Bo Nix is the guy. Obviously, they think Bo Nix is way ahead of where a rookie quarterback should be. Sean Payton loves Bo Nix. But I think Sean Payton can put enough confidence in Zach Wilson that, hell, why the hell not? Give the kid a chance.
Yeah, curious to see. It's just such a quarterback-driven league now. I think, Kenny, what you said about, letting these guys sit a little while, I think that benefits them, that benefits their organization. The only people that doesn't benefit is the head coach.
Yeah.
Because chances are
or GM.
But Sean Payton is okay.
Sean Payton okay, but
rookie coach not okay.
Yeah, coach GM not going to be there by the time that quarterback that you picked is going to be playing for you on Sundays. Yeah. And by the way, I saw this tweet yesterday. I don't remember who tweeted it out, but it was 12 more Sundays until NFL football, and it's just like,
oh really?
Oh God, please!
Oh wow!
It's upon us.
Please,
I'm digging it, man. That means it's 10 to the college season.
10 to the college season,
yeah.
And that would mean 9 to the preseason.
That's right. 2 months,
right?
We're 2 months.
We're getting there. There is a feeling though that is the NBA, and I do kind of feel like the NBA playoffs, the NBA final, and the Stanley Cup final. Like once you're in the championship round, it kind of feels like that season is over anyway because there's a break that's not on every night. When the NBA playoffs or NHL playoffs are going on, there's something every night.
Are you enjoying the NHL playoffs?
Yeah, I am. And again, I was up until this point. That's kind of how I feel about the NBA finals because up until this point, it just feels like we could see 2 sweeps.
I don't think you're seeing a sweep with the Oilers. I really don't.
They
played well the other night. They just got beat.
I do have the Oilers winning tonight.
Okay. All right.
I do have the Oilers winning tonight.
If they win tonight, we'll have the manager of the Oilers on in a couple of days to talk about it.
Let's give them a couple. Let's maybe just get them to the end of the season.
I'm just talking.
Right.
Kenny Holland, we're all rooting for him.
I got nothing more to ask Kenny. I'm all out of Kenny.
No, I get it.
I'm all out of Kenny questions.
I
got nothing more to ask him.
You got nothing.
I could break down the game, but I don't know if the people here care about the breakdown of the game.
They don't. Let's face it. You get Boston against the Mavericks, and you get the Florida Panthers against the Edmonton Oilers. Could you pick really 3 out of the 4? Celtics they're a franchise, a historic franchise. The other 3 are really not historic franchises. And I know, don't tell me about the WHA and the Oilers and how they've won, how they took it away from the Islanders and became that dynasty. I know that. But they're really a non-entity to American hockey watchers. The Edmonton Oilers, out of all the teams you could pick, well, I guess Ottawa would be behind them. Winnipeg would be behind them. But wouldn't you rather see the Toronto Maple Leafs
100%
in this thing? I mean, wouldn't you rather see the Montreal Canadiens in this thing?
Well, Edmonton, I like seeing Edmonton.
I get it, but they're not the true blue NHL blue blood.
Well,
I know they had a great run, and of course 5 Stanley Cups.
That's my childhood.
I understand that.
That would probably be like the New Jersey Devils or the New York Islanders.
Right.
Right? Like that would be like the New York Islanders for a swath of people.
I'm talking about the TV fans that are trying to watch these games. They're not tuning in to see the Oilers.
Again, great.
And I know they have a great player.
Connor McDavid, great player.
Yep.
No marketing behind him whatsoever.
I bet you they couldn't pick Connor McDavid out on the ice. Even when he's skating.
Connor McDavid might be the greatest player in hockey since Wayne Gretzky, and nobody could pick him out of a lineup. Why?
Nope.
Marketing. That is a great analogy.
Yep.
And nobody cares about Edmonton in the final.
And no one cares about the Panthers.
Because there's no story.
And Florida. No one cares about Florida. I do. I'm a hockey fan.
Right.
Try to win their first championship since 35 years since they've come into the league.
But you want more than just the Tom Mazaway hockey fan.
It would have been great to have the Rangers, and let's pick the best team in the West. I don't know.
I don't know. Dallas? I don't know.
L.A., the Kings, let's just say.
Okay.
The Rangers and the Kings. Then you would have an audience as far as the NHL goes. They've had great audiences up to here. I'd like to see where it going. I'm looking forward to tonight's game.
Hey,
I don't want the season to end.
You mentioned the New York Rangers and the LA Kings. Mm-hmm. Can we go to another New York LA thing? I want to take a break. I watched almost every inning of the series between the Yankees and the Dodgers.
Boy, was that good.
That was special. For as much as I knock baseball, I have to give them credit for one thing. We'll do that next. But first, a message from
Soroki's.
Oh,
man, that sounds so good right now. Soroki's Crispy Chicken and Pizza is taking over Michigan. Locations are popping up all over Metro Detroit, doubling the number of restaurants this year, known for their quality hand-battered, hand-breaded chicken tenders, sandwiches, and New York-style pizza. Be sure to stop in and try a mega station near you, or go to www.sorokis.com.
And with the first pick in the 2024 Media Draft, Detroit selects Woodward Sports. Thank you for making us the #1 digital network in Detroit.
Yo, let me just say, I love Planet Fitness.
Trying out Planet Fitness and dang, they got lots of equipment.
Not me getting a Planet Fitness membership just for the 24-hour perk.
Listen, the PF Black Card is worth every penny for this hydro massage. I'm a new man.
Did y'all know that the PF app has workouts you can do at home? Cheapest therapy I can find is Planet Fitness.
All the benefits, all for less. Planet Fitness, big fitness energy.
Wailing out with your Premier Pet Supply, man, just looking around. Who's got it better than pets? Come on, a baby stroller for Coda? A chef for Lola, really? You don't have to tell me who the real boss here is. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody, especially here at Premier Pet Supply. For over 30 years and more than 13 locations, Premier Pet Supply has everything that your pet can dream of, and guess what? It's all under one roof. Premier Pet Supply, family owned, operated, and proud to call Metro Detroit home. Check out premierpetsupply.com or scan the QR code today. Who's got it better than pets?
Nobody! You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Hey, everybody, dealing with divorce, child custody, visitation, or other family law issues? Well, Kevin and Catherine at KDK Law in Birmingham will have your back. 10-plus years of experience, 24/7 availability. Scan the QR code on the screen or call them, 248-971-0476. Say Woodward Sports sent you, and KDK will pay your filing fee. KD Law, they've got your back. And we're live at Oakland Hills Country Club for the first stop on the Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour, a series of high-profile golf events featuring amazing courses, top-notch outings, and local celebrities. Today's event supporting the American Cancer Society. Our Randy Wise celebrity today, Tiger great Kirk Gibson. Somebody help Gibby. When it comes to your next car or truck, make the wise decision. It's Randy Wise Automotive.
So I love Tom Mazaway. He's such a unique person. He's such a unique person. So we're just sitting here during the break, kind of like silence, just sitting here. It's silence.
Chill.
Then all of a sudden he looks at me and says, "Hey, I had some great watermelon over the weekend. And I'm like, where does that come from?
What does Drew call me?
It's so random.
He calls me the human non sequitur.
It's like
I can't help myself.
You're sitting here in silence, kind of getting ready for the commercials to be on.
Nobody's in mass.
And then all of a sudden he just looks at me. Hey, I had some great watermelon over the weekend. And I'm like, what do you want me to do? So I asked the natural follow-up question. The natural follow-up question to that is, seeds or no seeds?
No seeds.
Seedless. Which I was shocked by because
Are you kidding?
I too like watermelon with no seeds, but hey, Timmy
McCollum and Brady,
president of Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men.
Shout out.
Always got the
Shout
nice
out.
shirts.
So because I like watermelon with no seeds, but the watermelon with the seeds is the sweeter.
Yes.
Yeah. So anybody will tell you that is the best watermelon.
No, I don't have time to spit.
Well, then you didn't have the best watermelon.
Right.
No, I had a great freaking watermelon.
Genetically altered.
Everything I have is genetically altered. I eat Captain
That's a
Crunch.
fact.
Processed watermelon.
That's a fact.
I eat Captain Crunch for crying out loud.
Hey, I want to talk a little baseball.
I got M&Ms here on the dais.
I want to talk a little baseball because for as much as I hate baseball, I love baseball. Well, I hate baseball for what they're doing to my fandom with the Tigers.
Yeah.
Again,
what are they doing to you?
Well, they're forcing me not to watch the Tigers.
Oh, the Valley stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Diamond
I don't
Sports.
watch the Tigers baseball anymore. I just don't.
I get it.
Yeah.
So you got a new team.
Yeah, I do. I watch the Dodgers as much as I could watch the Dodgers. I've got the MLB app.
You like their little dance?
What is that?
I hate that crap.
Every team, every.
Yeah, but they do it more than anybody.
No, but because they get on base more. What is this when they get on the base? I don't know what that is. But anyway, baseball changed their schedule. You no longer have an unbalanced schedule where you're playing your other teams in your division 19 games.
Correct.
That was wearing people out. Now
It's boring.
Now you have this. You play everybody in baseball, home and away.
Love it.
And you had the Dodgers and the Yankees.
Yeah, there you go. Get to
All
the
right
office.
Hey, Ben, you better get to the office.
Get to the staff.
Ben,
Am I
if you're
in
watching
school?
Woodward Sports, you better get to the
Get to the staff.
Get to the staff.
All right.
A stat. So you've got the Dodgers and the Yankees. This was basically an all-star game.
Yeah.
You had Betts, Ohtani, Freeman, Smith, Teoscar Hernandez.
Holy crow.
Judge,
Yep.
Soto, Stanton, Volpe, who's going to be an all-star this year.
Oh, yeah.
There were 9 players on there that it was like, I don't want to say the word I want to say now because we're in public, but it was an incredible moment if you're a baseball fan. I loved every minute
Saturday
of it.
night, Fox had it right after the Belmont Stakes, live on Fox 2. I was at the bar. I insisted, got to have the Yankee game here, got to have the Stanley Cup final here. Honestly, my wife was laughing at me because I'm really like a kid in the candy store.
Yeah.
And I kept telling her, look how beautiful this looks. I mean, look,
I know.
And Fox, they do a baseball game like nobody's business.
Nobody does it better.
Nobody does it better. Nobody. They're better than ESPN, twice as good as ESPN. The slow-mo, the zoom. It's a beautiful thing. And the Dodger fans, man, I didn't realize how many were in New York.
I couldn't believe it.
It must have been from their dads and their grandfathers being Brooklyn Dodger fans.
Yeah.
But they showed out at Yankee Stadium. I can't wait to see the Yankees go out west.
Baseball attendance is up.
Yep.
Ratings are up over 25% on Fox and ESPN. Baseball is doing it right, man. They're creating these things. And even if you woke up yesterday, 10 o'clock in the morning, the Mets and the Phillies
London.
on ESPN in London, this London series that felt pretty big. I mean, that was great stuff.
They didn't advertise it like they should have.
No, they didn't.
They did not.
But again, no, they didn't.
Nope.
But again,
because it almost got by me.
Yeah, Phillies and Mets in London.
Yeah.
Dodgers and Yankees, 2 nationally televised games. 3 really if you got Apple TV.
Yep.
So the first
Get
game
the morning game there.
First game was on Apple Plus.
Mm-hmm.
Second game's on Fox. Third game's on ESPN. You got to watch all 3 of them.
It was nice, man.
It was a fantastic thing.
I watched baseball. I'm outside yesterday, but I have the TV, and I watched probably 8 different types of games.
Yeah.
Yesterday, just switching the channels around.
It was incredible.
I just absolutely love it.
Baseball's great. They've got a lot of young stars.
Tigers are home this weekend. Played well yesterday. We'll talk about it.
The one thing about this baseball app too is you just bounce around. I mean, I love Shohei Ohtani. I love the Dodgers. Anytime Aaron Judge is at bat, it is must-see TV. Anytime, to me, Ellie De La Cruz is up.
He's
love
amazing.
this player from the Cincinnati Reds. This might be, outside of Ohtani and Judge, if you backed me against a corner and you had to ask me who my favorite player was, it's Ellie De La Cruz.
One of those big teams will be having Ellie De La Cruz on their team.
This guy plays differently than anybody else.
Yep.
He is changing the game by how he
He'll
plays.
probably steal home this year.
I don't know how he can. Every time he's on base, he's going to swipe the bag.
Yep.
It's fun.
Yesterday, the Women's World Series, softball World Series, the girls stole home on a walk.
Really?
Yes, a walk. They weren't paying attention.
With not a pass ball or anything like that?
Nope.
Wow.
She ran right in. It was bases loaded.
Right.
Her teammate scores from third.
Right.
She goes over to third. She followed her home. It was hilarious.
I'm so high on baseball right now. It's
even the Tigers.
Well, the Tigers. I follow the team, but I don't watch it anymore. I'm not spending $20 for the app. I'm just not doing it. It's not that I can't afford it. I'm very blessed. I can afford the $20 app. It's just the principle of it. I pay $250 a month in my cable bill. I should be able to watch the Tigers.
Yeah.
And you know what? It is what it is. You know,
the Tigers yesterday. Well,
and they should force something. Needs to happen where they have to force something.
It better happen because Tiger fans, you're Red Wing fans as well, and there are some of you that like the Pistons. So it's the same deal.
Pistons, you're doing me a favor.
All
I'll
right.
pay you not to watch.
But you're not going to get the Red Wings if this continues into
Right.
September.
Right.
Yeah.
You're not getting them.
How many Red Wings fans? What are you going to do? You're not going to watch the Red Wings?
It's not looking
Not
good.
going to watch it. I mean, I think about my 9-year-old and 7-year-old kids who grow up. The TV should be on the Tigers every night with my 9-year-old and 7-year-old.
Correct.
Every single night there should be a ball
Mine
game
is.
on in my house. Now my kids are starting to love the Dodgers.
That's good.
I'm going to have to take them to L.A.
Take them, man.
Right? But again.
It's like rooting for an all-star team.
Right? My kids love Ohtani and they love bets.
Ohtani is the most
Right.
amazing baseball
Right.
player
But
I've
like
ever seen in my life.
Mookie Betts is awesome,
He's
dude. I mean,
fantastic.
he's
How did the Red
tremendous.
Sox trade him again?
Right?
I don't get that.
I don't know. But again.
Thank you, by the way.
Yeah, and Tarek Skubal, right? I mean, best pitcher in baseball by a mile.
By a mile. What's he, 8-1 for the year?
I think he's better than that, maybe.
10 Ks yesterday and 6 and 2/3.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
he's the stopper. They had a 2-game losing streak. It stopped. But he pitches.
Again, the Tigers are doing everything they have to do to stay alive in a wild card. And it's just up to Chris Ilitch what he wants to do. Do you want to go for it or do you not want to go for it? Because you're going to, at this pace, you are going to be within 3 or 4 games of a wild card at the end of July.
Yeah, you are. Unless they go on a complete downturn, and
Which
I don't
they're
see
not
it.
going to do. I don't see it with their pitching.
And Torkelson's starting to hit the ball down at Toledo.
Well, of course he's going to do that. That's why they didn't want to send him down, though.
Well,
that's because what benefit is all this hit? I
don't know.
He had to work on his game. I understand he's not seeing the same
I get
type
it.
of
You're
pitching.
right.
But
No, I totally get. I'm totally with you on that.
Parker Meadows is down there still scuffling. He's a great fielder, but he can't hit.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to Austin Meadows?
Austin Meadows just faded away, man.
Seriously,
mental issues, and he just couldn't do it anymore.
Is he still on the roster?
I don't
How
think
does that
so.
work?
He's
I
not
don't think
anymore.
so.
I think they might be paying him a little bit, but they're not thinking about having him back.
Might be one of the. I hope Austin Meadows is fine and everything like that. But that might be one of the most fleecing trades in Detroit sports history.
Isak Paredes is a 25 home run guy, hitting in 90 RBIs. He bats 300. He plays a great second and short. He even plays in the outfield. It was a steal by Tampa Bay.
It just doesn't feel right that Tampa. It feels like they knew, right?
They did.
It doesn't feel right that they got to
They fleeced him.
Just be like,
Poor
okay,
Alavila.
Hey, this is what's going on.
That was Alavila's last straw.
Good old Al.
Coffin.
Yep.
That was the nail in the coffin.
That was it.
That and the Javi deal.
Right.
And Javi is having historically, and I know Neil loves Javi, loves him. He's having a Ryan. He's historically bad.
Worst OPS in history.
I told you
I don't know how.
200 years of baseball.
How did it happen?
I told you I would not have brought him north from spring training.
Yeah. But
if they had somebody to stick in there besides Zach McKinstry, they would have not. They would have left him down there.
Yeah.
I think they cut bait with him this year. I do. I think they cut bait with him. By the trade deadline, I think they DFA him.
It doesn't seem like Chris wants to eat that money, though, unfortunately.
Well,
I hope they do.
What's the difference?
I hope they do.
He's eating it anyway. He's a hole in the lineup.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. It's a hole in the lineup.
Right.
He should not be in the lineup. I know he's very good. He's exciting in the field. He's got to be DFA'd.
I wouldn't even say that at this point.
What was the stat in our Woodward Sports text the other day? Like, Justin Henry Malloy has walked 4 times in 6 games. Javi Baez has walked 8 times in 2 years.
Damn.
Bro,
that's bad.
Right?
If the ball is out there, he is swinging.
He's swinging at it.
He's swinging at it.
Right.
I feel for him because I was a fan of his.
Scuffling.
I was a fan of his.
But I was the guy banging on the drum for Chris Taylor from the Dodgers.
Yeah,
I never wanted to have
listen, he's batting .091 this year, so
I mean,
that whole crew. Even Correa really hadn't been that special.
He
in
hasn't been
Minnesota.
great, but he's been better than
who
them.
was the other guy from Colorado? That was
Trevor Story.
Trevor Story. He's
can't get out of his own
nothing.
way. Injured all the time.
This is the greatest.
That free agent class.
This is the greatest shortstop free agent class in the history of free agents. We haven't seen it.
No.
Correa, Story, Baez, Chris Taylor was included in that list at the time.
Malloy's playing pretty good, by the way.
I love Justin Henry. Malloy.
I love it. I love
he
that
has a
story.
veteran approach.
He's my new favorite Tiger, to be honest.
I like
with
how he
you.
changed his number right away.
Right.
Give me 44.
Right, exactly.
44 is a great baseball
Oh, my
number.
God.
One of the greatest.
Go ahead.
Nah, but to your point, Ryan, we will find out more about this team in the next few weeks when this trade deadline approaches. Are you in or are you out? That just seems to be the topic of discussion amongst Tiger fans because we can't deal with being in the middle, it seems like.
And to be honest with you, it's not going to be our decision.
Yeah.
It's good because you're going to be there. If you want to be in, you will
can be there.
Be in.
Yep.
If you want to be out, you can be out. It's just which direction do you want to go?
Well,
because I do think the sad thing is I do believe with this pitching staff, you can compete. You can win,
a series.
wild card series.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, I'm going to give this to you right now before we leave. Would you trade Tarek Skubal?
Not a chance.
No.
0 chance.
If you got major league help.
No.
Not prospects.
Not trade him for anything.
Pay that man.
I would.
Yep, I'm not. You've got him for 2 more years under your control. You don't even have to pay him for 2 more years.
But I would because the more he pitches good, the more the dollar goes up.
I would too. I'd lock him up long term. But when you get good, you need that guy to pitch game 1 and game 7. That's if you want to move forward and win a championship, you need that guy on your team. Why have the Yankees not won in the playoffs?
Because they haven't had a guy except Garrett Cole.
That guy.
Yep, Cole, and he's been under
that guy.
Yep.
Big facts.
Why have the Dodgers not won? Kershaw sucks in the
he's a
playoffs.
choke artist.
So listen, if you want to win a World Series, you need a guy like that. You need that guy.
You need Max Scherzer. You need Justin Verlander. JV not pitching very well right now.
No, he's done. JV's done.
I hope not.
I think it fell off.
I just traded for him.
I watched him a little bit yesterday. No, I watched him a little bit yesterday. He's done.
You think?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I do.
You didn't see him a month ago at Comerica when he looked like Cy Young JV.
Who is he facing? Javi Baez?
Oh,
right.
Oh, yeah. You're right.
All right, we got to go, guys.
Happy birthday to Kate Upton, by the way, his wife.
Happy birthday to Kate Upton. I thought she was
she's the
over
goat,
there.
by the way.
All right.
Oh.
Want to thank everybody out at Oakland Hills, everybody with Randy Wise. We'll be back tomorrow for KG, Pete Spivak, intern.
James.
Power Nick,
Intern.
a.k.a. Power Nick.
That's Jack Campbell.
I know. I've been texting with intern Joel because he's back at the station clipping the show.
Oh, intern Joel.
What's up, intern Joel, intern James. I got stuck in my head. Tom Mesway. Braylon's back tomorrow. See ya. Bye-bye.